Welcome, everyone, to our Airswift webinar regarding our GETI report. I'm Anna Frazzetto, your host for today's episode. Today, we're going to be delving into the results of the 2023 Global Energy Talent Index report. So we're going to be offering some insights in the power and nuclear sector. As you've heard in some of our previous webinars, the report serves as a great temperature check for these sectors and also other energy sectors, exploring industry trends, disruptions, and the impact of global events on the workforce. Now, in our previous sessions, we had explored the oil and gas and renewable sectors, but today we're going to focus on power and nuclear. So what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about salaries, global mobility. We are going to talk about ESG issues, socioeconomic shifts, and of course, to help, pepper our discussion today, energy transition and the challenge of attracting and retaining talent, which impacts all industries across the board. Now, I'm really excited today because we get to have Ashley Samuelson, who's our VP of STEM Industries for Airswift. And she is often quoted and asked about our current trends. So welcome, Ashley.
Good morning, Anna. So happy to be here.
Fantastic. So why don't we just jump right in? Let's talk about some of the trends that I just kind of highlighted. I think a good place for us to start is with energy transition. So how is the energy transition shaping the work lives of professionals in the power and nuclear sector?
Oh, that's a great place to start. I mean, energy transition, this is so relevant across the power and nuclear sectors. I mean, energy transition, which involves shifting towards cleaner and more sustainable energy sources, is significantly shaping the working lives of professionals across the markets. I mean, along with all change, this provides opportunities along with its fair amount of challenges. One of the areas of focus is the energy power grid. I mean, the increased production of renewable energy sources is reshaping the traditional power market. These intermittent energy sources, they require adjustments in grid management strategies. I mean, this includes flexibility, energy storage solutions, and advanced forecasting and balancing technologies. I mean, as the power market evolves, digitalization, grid modernization, they both play crucial roles. Technologies that say can integrate renewable energy and other emerging market concepts are going to be so important to the industry. Now, the perception of nuclear energy in the United States is layered. Historically, nuclear energy has been seen as a valuable source of low carbon electricity generation and a key component of the country's energy mix. It is celebrated for producing a stable and continuous electricity supply. I mean, the energy transition has sparked increased interest as well as advancement in advanced nuclear technologies. I mean, some of the things it includes are SMRs, small modular reactors, advanced reactor designs, additional research. These technologies aim to address a variety of topics concerning cost, safety, waste management, and more, which could potentially open new possibilities within the workforce in the future. So change is necessary in infrastructure, market design, and operational strategies. But overall, the energy transition is driving a fundamental shift in the traditional power and nuclear markets.
Ashley, first of all, I love when you talk a little bit about the technology side of things, because obviously that's my background and the impact that technology can make in this particular space. I think, with any sector and whatever discussion, there's always room for improvement in both sectors, in power and in nuclear. As I think one of the key items is that people want to feel that they're part of solving the problem, right? So
Absolutely.
right? This could be a great way for them to be able to retain and attract talent as they're going into possibly more nuclear research and development as kind of the next wave.
I
Okay,
agree.
fantastic. So why don't we talk about attracting and retaining talent? Because I think it's a natural segue from what you were just talking about. In the battle of top talent, how are power and nuclear sectors really faring?
Yeah, I mean, this is such a big topic of conversation throughout the markets. I mean, these markets do rely on a highly skilled and specialized workforce to operate, maintain, and support various activities. I mean, the markets are experiencing a high demand for talent, and a lot of these professionals are being approached constantly for other roles on other projects. So the demand for depending on different factors. I mean, is it the construction and operation of a new plant, decommissioning activities? I mean, there's research and development in new technologies, and a huge area is ensuring safety protocols are being followed. I mean, so we're seeing the overall industry is implementing several different strategies to try to approach these challenges. I mean, this includes workforce development. I mean, there is a big focus on transferring knowledge and experience to the next generation, as well as initiatives for retention and recruitment. I mean, to ensure that there is a competent workforce, I mean, you're seeing across the globe, many countries, including the US, have educational programs and training initiatives to ensure they're producing qualified individuals. So these programs are really important so that they're upskilling the workforce and covering a range of disciplines. And you're seeing that these programs are doing everything from nuclear engineering across to, I mean, it's really important to have that vocational training for technicians and operators as well.
Right. So Ashley, it's the key is kind of keeping the professionals, the talent, thinking about like the next wave and how they can kind of be part of, like we were just talking about, be part of the solution. One interesting thing that when I was doing research and preparing for our discussion is to see what the next 12 to 24 months are really going to unfold. There's been a lot of talk about nuclear fusion, right, as kind of being like the next step for further in clean energy with less risk, less cost. So again, part of the research that you were referring to. Now, I think some of the key items is looking at the predictors out there. There are some predictors that say that we can be there by 2025, and there are others that say that we are decades away. So I think once we kind of get our arms around it, that's why I think the next 12 to 24 months could be fascinating in the power and nuclear space.
I mean, I agree, Anna. You're seeing all of these leaning in to what the future is going to look like, but this feeds into the talent pool as well. I mean, professionals are taking this into consideration as they're looking for what industry they want to go into, what part of the market, and career progression is definitely top of mind for everyone.
Right, right. So let's kind of shift the conversation a little bit and talk about socioeconomic shifts, right? So are power and nuclear sectors bending or breaking under the pressure of socioeconomic shifts?
Well, it's definitely been impactful throughout the market. Both sectors have demonstrated a resilience to these changing work practices. I mean, just what we spoke on, there's so much that's being incorporated into the industry. However, economic factors such as, I mean, you're seeing this across markets, but definitely rising supply chain costs and inflation have caused a disruption to the sectors. I mean, the power industry does appear to be more impacted by the rising supply chain costs and inflation compared to the overall nuclear market. I mean, both have seen this disruption in their operations due to the socioeconomic shifts. The disruption was reported through the GETI report. has led to reduced or delayed salary and benefit increases in the power sector. I mean, this also impacts the recruitment and retention efforts of the workforce we were just speaking on as well.
Right, right. So, I mean, key is going to be addressing these challenges. It's going to be crucial to how you're able to attract and retain the talent going forward. I think
Absolutely.
a nice segue is maybe talking about salaries because you kind of alluded to it a little bit. What does the future hold for power and nuclear sectors?
Well, I mean, the future looks promising, and that was echoed throughout the Getty report. I mean, you're seeing that the demand for skilled professionals in these markets does continue to evolve. In both the power and nuclear sectors, nearly half of the professionals per the Getty report did experience a pay increase in the past year. So that is promising. It was also reported that hiring managers are very optimistic, with a majority reporting salary increases across their teams. I mean, some of the trends and the factors that play into this are the skill demand and talent shortages, technological advancements. There are also regulatory and policy changes, as well as the workforce demographics and how retirements are playing into that. I mean, the power and nuclear sectors have and are experiencing an aging workforce that's leading to the potential retirements and a need for upskilling that new talent. But that being said, I mean, despite the disruptions over the past few years, only a small percentage of respondents to the Getty report in each sector reported pay decreases. And this is really strong, indicating the sector's resilience.
No, that's what. So, Ashley, would you say that, however, the discrepancies between the perception maybe of professionals and higher managers, that to underscore the need for improved communication and maybe some transparency around pay structures and expectations? Also, I mean, I think what's kind of interweaved in all of this is the work-life balance playing a role in the retention of staff.
I mean, aren't we seeing that more and more these days? But that's what
Yeah.
one of the wonderful things about the Getty report. It is such a great document to review to see what clients feel are important and how that communication and integrating it throughout the culture to make sure that everybody is aligned on what objectives they're trying to reach while also cultivating that workforce that is going to be engaged and on the same page and pushing those objectives.
Exactly. And I think what really challenged us was obviously the pandemic, as far as how do you retain people through such a difficult time period. But it opened up the avenue of transparency, which typically, especially in the United States, that's not something that people openly discuss, the transparency when it comes around pay structures and how do you move to the next level. So it's almost helped to equalize the playing field a little bit.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's talk about now with the workforce. Are they willing to relocate, pack their bags, or are they more interested in planting roots and not relocating? So, talking about global mobility.
Well, this did come out to be a shift post pandemic. I mean, I think you're seeing overall in the market for certain specialized roles and projects, professionals within power generation do have opportunities to work, say, globally. I mean, for instance, use engineers, project managers, technicians with expertise on large scale power projects are in high demand. So that being said, there is a year-on-year decline, and I think you were just speaking to this, Anna, in the desire to relocate. I think we're seeing across the workforce that people are looking to prioritize their proximity to family, and that was echoed throughout the power markets in the Getty report. Another big influencer is their children's education and not wanting to disrupt that once they are embedded in a community. And so those are the main reasons that we saw reflected that was deterring people from actively seeking out a relocation. It is also important to note that within power generation, it's often tied to regional or local infrastructure and energy policies. So, a result of that is that mobility can be more regionally focused rather than globally.
Right. And that makes sense. I think, one of the things that you're underscoring is the fact of aligning policies, offering clear career progression pathways, flexible work arrangements, and this will all feed into attracting and retaining talent.
I mean, you're speaking straight to it. The number one reason people are considering a relo is to further their career progression. So that's an important objective for clients to keep in mind, that this is top of mind of the workforce.
Right, right. So let's talk a little bit about environmental, social, and governance, right? ESG initiatives. Do we feel that power and nuclear sectors are walking the talk when it comes to committing to that space?
Oh, this is a big topic of conversation throughout the markets. In both the power and nuclear sectors, recognize the importance of environmental sustainability in their operations and are incorporating it in more and more. I mean, companies are striving to reduce the impact of carbon emissions, which includes transitioning towards cleaner energy sources, such as renewable energy, and nuclear power fits very well within this. So companies are actively investing in and developing renewable energy projects to diversify their portfolio and their overall energy mix. So it is interesting because half of the respondents to the Getty report in both sectors believe their companies are doing enough to enable the energy transition. So they're seeing that through their day to day. But only a third of power professionals believe their companies are fully committed to ESG. And so this is an indicator that there is a potential gap between the actions that are being done versus the perceived commitment to the workforce.
Right. So, Ashley, when you talk about the commitment to the workforce, we also saw this in the oil and gas and renewable conversations that we had. ESG is going to play a significant role in attracting and retaining talent. I think more professionals are focused on not only what they can do, but what is your organization doing to commit to improving the world, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's definitely top of mind across the workforce. But I mean, really, this is an area that companies could improve that could lead to greater employee engagement. And it could also help improve that talent attraction and retention.
Excellent. Thanks, Ashley. So, actually, this kind of concludes our discussion portion of the webinar. So, we have time, luckily, for a couple of questions. So, I'd like to start with maybe a power question first. And why don't we talk a little bit about how is the increased demand for renewable sources impacting the skill sets required in the power sector?
Oh, that's good. I mean, we're seeing this day to day with all these new emerging technologies and trends coming out. But there is a paradigm shift towards renewable energy sources. And this is also creating a demand for new diversified skills. So we're seeing that clients are looking for the skilled workforce, but they're also looking for soft skills. I mean, who is staying on top of these emerging trends throughout the market? Who can demonstrate agility, adaptability, innovation are so important to the workforce as well. I mean, another big part that you're seeing feed through this is digital literacy and data analytics skills. They are essential for smart grids and AI-based predictive systems. So as we're seeing, this new technology come and help improve everything, it's also creating other opportunities for new roles to be developed. So this, along with companies investing as well in reskilling and upskilling their workforce to meet the new trends that are coming out in the market.
Excellent. Thank you, Ashley. So now let me bounce to nuclear. How can companies in the nuclear sector ensure that they retain top talent?
Oh, this is so important. And we hear clients echo this throughout the market. I mean, the demand for the workforce is there, and it seems to be top of mind with how they're trying to incorporate this into their workforce day to day. I mean, a big thing for companies is offering, a comprehensive as well as flexible benefits package. I mean, you mentioned work-life balance earlier. We're hearing that more and more that companies are adapting to this to meet the changing needs and expectations of their employees. I mean, as well as an inclusive work culture that is where the employees feel valued and respected for their individual contribution. I mean, everyone wants to feel as though they're making an impact and creating an environment that fosters that. And we've touched on this a little bit, but the communication of the company's commitment to these important industry trends like energy transition is key. Making sure that the workforce is aware of how they're playing into this is going to be important. But providing their workforce opportunities, we saw relocation, career progression. How is the company feeding back into the workforce to upskill them and provide those development opportunities with the changing industry landscape is going to be so important to not only retain their current workforce, but attract that new talent into the market.
Oh, great point, Ashley. I think, some of the points that we've kind of highlighted throughout our discussion today is that both power and nuclear sectors are navigating a highly dynamic talent landscape with employees being regularly approached for other roles. So therefore it's key that you have the right communication measures in place within your company. Job satisfaction is influenced by a variety of factors, including, benefits, salaries, the nature of work, opportunities for progression, as you
That's
just
it.
mentioned, right? And addressing these factors are going to be the key indicators to how you retain talent in both sectors.
I agree. I mean, it's funny because as you talk about it, it's also intertwined, isn't it? The environment, what is top of mind for the workforce as the overall industry is trying to address how they're going to ensure that they've got a full and upskilled workforce.
Exactly. Well, and just like that, we've reached the end of today's enlightening webinar. I hope you found our deep dive into this year's key GETI report findings both educational and thought-provoking. If you found value in our session today and wish to stay informed of similar content, I kindly invite you to press the like button and subscribe below to our channel. By doing so, you will stay one step ahead in knowing about what we release next, either webinars or podcasts, and exploring further exploration of the energy sector. I'm particularly thrilled to announce our upcoming webinars where we will delve deeper into some critical topics with the energy industry. The next webinar in line will be a spotlight on petrochemical, bringing to light its significant role in the global energy market. These upcoming sessions are certainly, at least we feel, not to be missed. They promise to deliver essential knowledge and fresh perspectives on the future of energy. So to ensure that you do not miss out, I suggest you subscribe and activate the notifications so that you can receive updates on our latest content. Thank you once again for your company today. I look forward to welcoming you to our future webinars as we continue to explore and understand the dynamic world of energy. Until next time, stay informed, keep asking important questions, and we'll talk soon. Thank you once again, Ashley.
Thanks so much, Anna. It was great.